same reaper.
It's Madden NFL 24, and we're in for a show from Anthony Richardson. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Colts and the Texans, and it's coming up next.
DA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Hoosier State and Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis. It's all about divisional matchups on this final day of the regular season, and we've got a compelling one in store here, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and yes, it's January 7th, but we haven't seen you since New Year's Eve, so we have to say Happy New Year, one and all. And partner, Happy New Year to you. This is the conclusion of the 2023 season. Hard to believe, but we got a good one here between division rivals. And you like what the NFL's done here, making Week 18 all division games.
I think it's one of the more inspired moves by the league because they've made these matchups really count. And typically they mean something, not a lot of coasting as people head towards the playoffs. But I do have to ask, January 7th, is it too late to say it? We're kind of right on the borderline, aren't we, about Happy New Year? Because that always seems to be the subject of debate.
Just about set for football. The veteran Matt Gay has it teed up, and we are underway now at Lucas Oil Stadium. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Well, this defense for the Colts, they were excellent a week ago in that victory over Indianapolis.
They sure did, and the key number to me was total offense allowed, which was barely over 100 yards. That's a heck of a sign that this defense is really putting all the pieces together and doing it cohesively.
Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Stroud sets up the play action. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Samson Abuka coming in to drop it for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by their rookie quarterback.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yards with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. You look at the defense for these Texans. They come into this one in the bottom half of the NFL against the run, number 19 overall.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out. Being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be second down. And they'll hand off to Hull. And not much running room. Down to the 32.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times. And what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
On third down, here's Richardson. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on third down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
Going for it on fourth, here's Richardson. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Colts first down by a good 3 yards as they convert on 4th and 5. Play action. Now Richardson. A quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. The Colts are 12-4 now on the year. And they come in on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Again, it's Richardson. This is caught. And he doesn't quite make it. Taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 23 yards on the play.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just did the tip of the ball across the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with first and goal.
Here we go now on first and goal. There, Richardson back to throw it. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running play action.
And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Evan Hall hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Colts get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Charles, every time that he makes one of these plays, I think the front office, they get a bigger and bigger collective smile because they feel more confident that they have found their guy, their future at quarterback.
And they should feel that way. It's obvious he's a big part of why they have such a good record this season. You're right about the bright future as well, and by association, a bright future for the franchise too.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Ready?
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Texans football to start quarter 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Hey, reload.
1st and 10, it's Pierce. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Now to change things up, Stroud will throw it. He gets this one to Mechie. And he's got this down to the 35. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. A nice play design there with a touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked.
And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Juju Brents. And the Colts are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. Even though they might not find the #1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and 3rd and 8 now. Richardson looking to throw. The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That's on the tackle, Braden Smith.
Still 3rd down.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Richardson. He's going to let this one go deep. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. It's fielded at the 45. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10.
Get it.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's back. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. 2nd and 12. Stroud now on 2nd down. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
This is 2nd and 8.
Ready.
On 2nd down, it's Richardson to throw it. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. 1st and 10, Richardson looks to throw it. That's going to be taken in by Downs. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. He'll take a shot downfield for Pittman. And that is incomplete.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
They go play action with Richardson. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Now the Colts will use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll take a shot downfield for Pittman. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. This is taken in. Now a hit and a loose football. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us a ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punt's coming in, I have a return punch, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not. But sometimes you just have to have a sense, a feeling, and just have to make sure, number one, though, you catch the ball and put it away.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It's all down to this. Week 18 of the NFL regular season. Lots to be decided, so let's get right to it. We'll begin our tour out at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. And that one just before halftime with the Jaguars out on top. Trevor Lawrence has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, let's head up to Cincinnati, Ohio to check in on the Bengals at home at Paycor Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. T. Higgins, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. Bryce Young with 2 touchdown passes there. We saw a strong first half out of the mobile quarterback, Anthony Richardson. His touchdown pass is the only score of the game thus far, as his guys hold a 7-0 lead to this point. Final adjustments taking place in both teams' locker rooms. We're closing in on the second half, and to bring it your way, let's go back up to Indianapolis and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Just the 1 touchdown in that first half. 7-0 our score as we get going in quarter number 3. And Dallas Flowers going to bring this out of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Colts going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it 1st and 10.
Ready.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Yetur Gross-Matos there to bring him down.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Ready.
Richardson. He finds his man, complete. That's McKenzie. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open, just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Richardson. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. He got 29 yards that time.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 32-yard line. Richardson out of the shotgun. A throw for Pittman is intercepted. Jalen Petrie picks it off. And the Texans are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities, and this is a good one right in front of them.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Stroud. Right side complete. That's Woods. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Pierce now up the middle. Takes it to about the 37. These two teams, they met in Houston earlier in the season with the Texans coming out on top. So if they can find a way to win here in Indianapolis, they would take the season series 2-0. Now an option play on 2nd down. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
I know they'd love to take some heat off of that young quarterback, but so far, not much in the running game, and this won't help things either. A loss on that play.
Stroud on 3rd down now. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Throwing now is Stroud. That's complete to Dell. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. I respect both sides on that play, CD. For him to be able to hold on to that football and the impressive tackle, wow.
Did you notice the look between the two of them as they came off the ground? That look did say the word respect.
Got his man, Dell. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down. Now Stroud. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
On second down, here's Pierce. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all.
Holding offense.
That's on Shaq Mason, the guard. Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. Hand off left side, Pierce. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. 47 yards rushing for him now to this point. 3rd and 12. Stroud working out of the gun. That is caught, pushing his way through. Touchdown, Texans. John Mechie, 41 yards. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this ball game here in the final moments of the 3rd quarter. It took them a little while, but they are on the board here in this 3rd quarter, and now with a chance to tie this up.
And it gives them a chance to exhale just a little bit, right? Because most of the time, if your first points come in the second half, you're often hopelessly out of the game, but not in this case. Now they have something to build on and a chance to mount a comeback.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. A 10-play drive that time. And it was all capped off by a John Mechie touchdown reception. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. On first down, Richardson. And this taken in by Downs. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and a yard.
Ready.
A run here with Hull. Get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a first down.
I'd have to say that's a pretty darn good run right there. They had 8 in the box, still able to burn them. They've got to consider themselves lucky they only gave up a first down and not a touchdown.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
60 Eagles.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. That's caught by his tight end, Kylan Granson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he tracked...
And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Evan Hall with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Colts answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. Here's Gay now to add the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, let's look
3 weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Pierce takes it straight ahead. And they'll stop him after a gain of a couple to the 33. This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. Stroud now on 3rd and 2. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
Stroud's throw pulled in by Woods. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And they'll throw it with Stroud here, 1st and 10. Now he breaks free in the middle of the field. And he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. They go right back to him for 20 and a first. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll run on first down with Singletary. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. Now 2nd down and a few inches. Now a handoff for Pierce. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Dameon Pierce, his 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes. They do tack on the extra point as well, and we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Now this one setting up for a great finish, all tied in the 4th as the kick's away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. And the Colts getting ready to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They're both game plan for this drive. And they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
Richardson. Flush to his right. The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
And that's a nice throw right there. And I'll tell you what I've seen in recent times and actually watched a presentation in the offseason from a college offensive coordinator that showed about 10 different drills that he runs with his quarterbacks to show them how to get out of the pocket, how to get comfortable when they're doing so, and to make plays under that type of duress. That's an example of what we're seeing the colleges deliver to the NFL.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. Now Richardson. This pass reeled in by Hull. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Oh, great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. All 3 timeouts still at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10 now. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Now they go screen. It's complete. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the 4th. Obviously a huge touchdown for their team, but a big touchdown for a rookie quarterback here to be able to break the tie in the 4th quarter.
And he just shook off all the pressure, too, because when you think about it, tie ball game, rookie quarterback, most of them are thinking, don't make a mistake. Instead, this young man just said, I'll make a play.
Gay is on for the point after. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it's capped off by the late touchdown. It's a 7-point lead here in the final minute of the game. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. So Stroud and the Texans down 21-14, 47 seconds remaining. And they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10.
Ready?
Here's Stroud. That is caught by Dell. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now Stroud. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Samson Abuka able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. A fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for Indianapolis, a victory in Week 18 gives them a final mark of 13 up and 4 down. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for the Texans, this loss will be the capper to what will be a disappointing 5-12 campaign. And with some high picks coming in this spring's draft, it's a team for whom a roster overhaul may be on the way. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.